Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I am with you MD Shajadur Ahmed and I am welcoming you all to another tutorial on Python programming. Today we are going to discuss about polymorphism and exception handling in Python. This is not new concept for us because we have already seen those in Java, but especially we are going to implement those in Python. So, let us start with polymorphism. Okay, so the word polymorphism means having many form. That means poly means many and morphe means forms. So, altogether polymorphism means many form. So, in programming polymorphism means method or function with same name being used for different types of purpose, but with different signature. Obviously, that means when we are using a method in two different class with same name, but actually they are playing different role in different purpose. So, in that particular case we say that the method is actually playing the polymorphism role because it is actually executing two different things in two different place. So, if we try to connect it with ourselves, that means human being, let us say when I am in a college, then I can be considered as a student or can be considered as a teacher. But when I am in a shopping mall, then I can be considered as a customer or can be considered as a seller. So, same human being playing different role in different place. So, that is what actually polymorphism is. So, let us see an example. So, this is an example, but let us execute it in Colab and then turn back here. Okay, so now we are in Colab and we are actually trying to implement polymorphism. So, let us create a class. Let us say cat is our class, and then let us put a method called sound. And first of all, the first parameter should be self, and then let us put another parameter like name. Okay, and then we say self dot name equal to name, and then we put a message like, say we put a f string. First of all, it will display the name of the object of class cat, like self dot name sounds meow. So, we know that a cat sound meow. So, that is why we are actually trying to print out. And then let us say we put another method called dog. Let us reduce the length of the tutorial and copy this part, and let us say dog, and all things are same, but dog sound bow bow, we know that. Okay. So, we have two class and there are two method called with same name called sound. So, this is what actually called polymorphism. Now, let us create some object of this class like new cat equal to cat and new dog equal to dog. So, what we have done, first of all we have created an object of cat class and then we have created an object of dog class, and let us now through the object let us pass some value or let us call the method. So, first of all with the object of the cat class we call the method sound and then pass a value like cat, and then we do similar thing, but now we are using the object of dog class and we are calling the sound method and then passing an argument like. So, see we are actually calling the sound method by using both of the object of the class, but in that particular case it will only call the class only call the method with sim name from the class, because it has been polymorphism, that means playing different role in different place. In the cat class, the sound will be exhibit the name of the cat object, and then it will say that cat will sound like this. And in the dog class, the sound method will play a different role, like it say that the object of the dog class sound like bow bow. So here we can see that same method with same name in different place actually acting differently. So that is what actually we called polymorphism. So let us run this code. So you can see it says cat sound meow and dog sounds bow bow. So that is what actually polymorphism. So in other case we can say that polymorphism is actually implemented by overloading and overriding. So let us go back to the slide. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about handling exception or exception handling. So what is exception? Error or are bound to happen in your code. We know that sometimes we face some error, but it is very difficult to understand what kind of error we are having or in which portion the error is occurred, especially when someone else end up using it is in an exceptional or unexpected way. So suppose we say that we prepare a code that will take integer value, but user give an input like character. So it will end up with giving some error message. So in that particular case we can use the exception handling things. So we can use error handling to attempt the plan of the possible error. So we can actually say that what kind of error it happens, or what are the correction or what are the solution of the error. So this is what actually called exception handling. So we can use three keyword for the exception handling things. So there are three keywords. First of all, try, and then except, and then finally. So try, in try block we actually put those portion of our code that in which portion the error can take place or error can happen. So we just need to assume that in which part the error can be happen. So then we actually put those part inside the try block, and the except block of the code will execute in case there is an error in the try block. So there will be some message or there will be some solution in the except block, and it will only executed if there are a error in the try block. If there are no error, then the except block will be not executed at all. And then finally the finally block. So the final block is block of code is always executed regardless of an error. So suppose if we does not put the finally block, then what happened? If we does not handle the error properly, it can execute the it can exit the code from the error part, and it will not execute the remaining part at all. But if we put the remaining part in the finally block, then what happened? Whatever happens in the try block, the error take place or not, the finally block always executed. So now we can assure that at least the remaining part will be executed whatever happens in the try block. So it will be easier to us to understand with a example. So let us go back to the Colab. Okay, so to explain the exception handling things properly, we have prepared a code. You can see we have taken two input from the user, the dividend and the divisor, and then we have dividend by the divisor, and then prepared the result. So let us run the code. It is first of all taking the divisor. So let us say the dividend is 10, and then it is asking for the divisor. So say divisor is 2. Then it will display the result is 5. As you all know that 10 divided by 2 equal to 5. So there is no problem. But let's run this code again, and let's say the dividend is user provided the dividend as 10 and the divisor as 0. So now what happened? let's see, there is an error, but user does not understand what kind of error it is. He or she just say, oh, this is not working properly, so this is not a good software. So what we have to do, we have to actually provide at least a proper message to the user, so that he or she can understand that what is the problem here and how to recover the problem. So that's why we actually use the try catch block. So what we can do, we can put whole things inside the try block, and if there is an exception happens, then we will display a message, a proper message or a solution in the except block. So let's do this. So let's say, and then let's say if there exception happens, then we will catch it from the except, and let's provide a message so that a common user can understand. We say you are doing incorrectly. So now the user can understand, okay, fine, there is something wrong. So but if there is no exception, then it this message should not be displayed. So it moves on to the else part. In else part, we say, first of all, we say, okay, so everything looks fine, and after that we say the result is. So now we are actually providing that a message that everything looks fine, and then providing the result. So let's run this code now. So first of all, it is asking for the dividend. So let's say 10 is our dividend, and let's say the divisor is 0. So now a exception will happens, but now it is not going to display so many things confusing to the user, but it will give a proper message like you are doing it incorrectly. So the message from the except block. So that's what the benefit of try and except block. So it will display a proper message, but if there are no error, then it will display just like the result, and it will display a message like everything looks fine, like divided by 5. So everything looks fine, your result is 2.0. So I hope you guys understand that what are the benefits of try and except block. And another concept we have discussed about that finally block always executed whatever happens in the try block. So let's say finally block, and we put a message that this is finally block. So what will happen? It will always execute it. When there is a error, it will display the message from the except block, as well as it will display all the statement from the finally block. And at the same time, if there is no error, it will display the message from the else block as well as all the statement from the finally block. So if we run this code, you can see 10 and 2. So it will display first of all the else block, everything looks fine, and the result is 5.0, and this is finally block. And if there is an error like 10 divided by 0, then you are doing it incorrectly, this is finally block. So you can see it is actually ultimately whatever happens in the try block, it will always execute it. So this is the advantage of finally block, that is the other portion of the code we can put it inside the finally, so that whenever a error happens, it will display a proper message, and it will then execute the remaining part of the code. So let us go back to the slide. So that's all from this tutorial. Hope you guys understand the concept of polymorphism and how we actually use exception handling and what are the advantage of exception handling. So this is all from me. This is all from this tutorial. Hope to see you all in the next tutorial. Till then, everyone stay safe, stay home. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.